What's up, everyone, and welcome to the first round coverage of one of, if not the most famous tournament up here in Minnesota, the Majestic. We've got a really great footage for you, and I'm really happy to be joined here in the booth with the president himself, Mr. Tommy Locke. How's it going, buddy?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure. Tommy's the president of the Minnesota Frisbee Association, so we kind of like him up here.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's also the tournament director of this fine tournament, so thanks for putting on a great tournament, buddy.
Yeah, this year was a pretty good year. Had a few weather rounds, but it was fun overall.
Absolutely. So we're moving on here to hole 1. Starting off the tournament, this is a par 3, 293 feet. Basically, it's a pretty clear play. I mean, you can go forehand or backhand. Backhand is probably the better option because you don't want to go too far down that hill on the right. That's the only danger you could really run into. Or hitting a tree too early. So just hit this gap here and let it float down there.
Always fun, the first first throw of a tournament. Nerves are rolling in.
Oh, definitely, especially when even with a wide gap like this, you're still hitting a gap. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see what you got, man. Yeah, that's about how you play the hole, man. Good work.
Good to get that one through the gap for sure.
Yeah, what'd you throw there?
It was a Prodigy A3.
Oh, nice. Looks like Alex came up a little bit short there.
Alex and Henry in almost matching clothes for the round. Representing Team Innova.
Bet you they planned that. Henry is, if you're watching from out of state, Henry's one of the young guns here in Minnesota. He's absolutely amazing at what he does.
There's an example.
Yep. How old is he now?
I think he just turned 16.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
And this is Dominik Harris. He is the advanced men champion of the 2018 Majestic Amateur Championships.
The week before, right?
Yep, the week before.
Yep. Was he already signed up for both, or did he decide to sign up, or how did that work out?
Yeah, he actually did sign up for both ahead of time, but he did earn a spot for this tournament with his win.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he was laying up or giving a little half bid there, but either way, I mean, taking a 4 on this one is pretty detrimental. It's like just right there. Nice 2 for Henry.
That felt good. Always nice to start with a birdie in a tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really well played, man. That's the way to go. There's not too much danger behind the basket, so running is not that, not a bad decision. I think the only bad decision you can make on this hole is turning it over too much and going down the hill there because there's a road in play.
Absolutely, yeah. Those trees down there are pretty thick as well.
Got 2 birds on that hole. Tommy and Henry. Hole 2 is pretty similar to hole 1. The only difference I would say is it's not so downhill. I mean, it's pretty much the same shot. You're probably using the same disc you used as the previous one. I mean, would you agree with that?
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah.
Especially wind always plays a role in this hole as well. I think if I remember, turned my A3 over a little bit, hit an early tree.
Okay. Are you getting like wind in from the parking lot, like a headwind, or what are you?
Yeah, but I think it was
here?
Headwind right to left.
Mm-hmm.
It was gusting a little bit as well when we were up there. Not a problem for Henry though.
Yeah. Let's see if this thing fades a little bit quicker. It's probably right outside the circle. Should be okay.
These first 4 holes are holes you feel like you have to get in order to have a good round at Kaposia. When you miss them, they're almost, birdies are not easily found out on the course once you get into the woods. So these are pretty crucial to get your round started off.
That's a very true statement. Absolutely. Yeah, these 4 holes for sure. You want to get those. Garrett had just a picture-perfect drive on that one. And props to Garrett for coming out. He's not a Minnesota local, so we appreciate him coming out.
One of the nicest guys I've probably ever played with as well. I don't think he had the best round by his standards, but he was always upbeat and kept the group laughing. And it was a pleasure to watch him and Alex see who can throw farther on hole by hole. Pretty good friendly competition they had going.
Yeah, 2 of the bigger arms out there. That's for sure a fun thing to watch. Oh no.
That one I was just trying to lay up and got it up too high in the wind, hit the early tree.
Jeez.
Trying to save par. Just wind kept my disc up a little too long.
Yeah, really. Like you were saying, man, this is pretty disappointing to not take a 2 or at least a 3 on these first 4 holes. Dominik first 2.
Good bid there.
Oh my goodness.
I think that one caught everyone off guard. Usually Alex is pretty money from that distance especially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was strange. It looked like it went in the cage and flew back out. Bet you the disc caught some wind underneath it and it kind of pushed it back out.
I think so.
Yeah. And Garrett with this drop in. Excellent drive.
It's always nice not to have to take your bag off to put in a deuce.
That's true. All right, hole 3. This one is actually significantly uphill. It kind of looks like it's more flatter ground and then it goes to uphill, but it is quite uphill. So the 270-foot shot becomes a little bit farther than that. What would you say the strategy is? Pretty much like a forehand, right?
Yeah, forehand or kind of a soft right hand backhand hyzer, hand hyzer.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get it up anywhere above the first tier of rocks is a success on this hole. Give yourself a putt.
Yep.
So I think we'll see a lot of different ways to attack the hole. It shows you the versatility of all the players and then also the conditions with the wind. How it plays into your decision making.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dreaded roll away.
Yeah. I mean, even so, these guys are making this hole look a lot easier than it is. I mean, getting it up on those rocks or in a 40-foot circle is pretty awesome for this hole. That was really good. A little bit of slide.
Yeah, it's a quick green when you get up top as well.
Oh, jeez. Such a good bid. These guys are really giving all these putts runs, but I think it's just a tad windy to be as confident as you should be when you're making these like 30 to 35-foot putts.
And there's Alex.
There it is.
I think one thing to note as well with this round, at the time it was upper 90s, pretty high humidity. There was a breeze, as you can see, but Definitely the temperature was a factor throughout the whole day. So you see a lot of us trying to find shade where it was available and kind of hanging out together in little pockets of shade just to try to keep cool.
Yeah, definitely. I remember it felt like a sauna out there. Also kind of plays into that factor of slippery discs and all that if your hands are sweating, and just try to keep them as dry as possible.
Yeah, it definitely does.
The lone deuce from Alex. That everybody's jumping around from 1 under to even there. Oh, hoping that they can get the deuce on this one here to get a little bit more of a charge. What do you say the strategies on this one, man? Because personally, I don't think I've ever really figured out the deuce on this one, but I know it's attainable.
A couple different approaches you can take at the hole to give it a good run. I think you see one very seldom used approach and just throw a big backhand hyzer from Alex up and over all of the trees. As you see, crashes very close. Not very many people can pull off that shot.
I have never seen anyone do such a great job with that huge hyzer. That was nuts.
Here's normally the second, and kind of most option players will go for up the middle, try to get something, go straight for a while.
Yeah. It's definitely far enough that the straight through is pretty much the only thing you're looking at unless you have an arm like Alex or Garrett.
Especially in the middle of the summer as well, when all the bushes have their leaves, everything's nice and green. One of the safest options, as you can see when standing from the tee, is just to go right up the middle.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a H3 V2 right up the gut. Got
yeah.
lifted by the wind, but
Oh my gosh.
couldn't see that or hear that from the tee, but I was told it hit the bucket, so there you go.
That's amazing. It's amazing. Like, I mean, I'm definitely not even close to as good as all these guys here on this card, but I mean, to see 3 drives on the same card that are better than any drive I've ever had in this hole was pretty nuts. This hole plays a lot harder than these guys just made it look.
Ooh. Down with the aggressive upshot there. Goes a little bit deep and down, a little bit of a fall.
Mm-hmm.
Big putt.
Oh yeah, that was really, really awesome from Henry. Good work. Just caught enough chains there on the left side.
Garrett with his sonic upshot. It was a pleasure to see him take that disc out and see how well he can throw it.
He's been using that a lot. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's been using it for years, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Alex got it. Smile on his face there. And Tommy just absolutely parked. Good work, dude. It's a tough green to park as well. I mean, if you notice, it's on a slight hill, and with all the, I don't know if that's wood chips or just dirt or straw or whatever it might be, but it's very, very slippery. So parking this hole it has to come in slower than you'd think.
Yeah, especially with the drop off the back of the tee. Kind of approach it very carefully, especially if you're throwing an upshot. You're not really thinking about it too much on the drive, but on the upshot, you got to keep that in mind. You don't want to go too far.
3 deuces on this hole. I'm really impressed. On hole 5 here, 420 feet, par 4. This is actually a really, really small gap. And once you hit that gap, you have to go a whole long ways again. At which point you pretty much have to be fading out, otherwise you're gonna be stuck in some trouble on the right side. So
Definitely one of the signature holes on the course, if not the signature hole for what Kaposia Park is known for, and can either continue a good start to a round or find yourself in trouble pretty quickly if you don't get off the tee with a decent shot here.
Absolutely. And just to kind of illustrate how difficult it is to actually get to this pin, out of the entire pro field, there were only 3 eagles on this hole, only 3 twos. So this is not just your regular flex line shot.
If you can walk away with easy 3 or 2 on this hole, you're feeling ecstatic about your round.
Oh yeah.
Didn't have the best first 3 drives there, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's not very typical to go sidearm off of this one, especially if you're trying to get a lot of distance. 'Cause like I said, you don't want to fall right in the second half of the fairway. There's just too much stuff to contend with down there, and you can find yourself with no line at all. Comes Garrett.
Makes the first gap, but he clips the next tree.
Yep. If that disc might have been 2 feet to the left, we might have seen a birdie with the speed that came out of his hand, or an eagle, I meant to say.
Tom's showing us the line.
Yeah.
Hits the gap perfectly. Fades out a little bit early, but he's in good shape for the hole. Henry just trying to punch out there. I think he got hung up with some of the early trees again.
Oh yeah. Didn't get all the way up there, but still a really valiant effort there from Alex. That is not an uncommon play if you're there on the right side.
Garrett trying to do a similar layup, but fades out early.
Yeah, he might be in trouble down there.
Hit a few trees on the way down, if I remember.
Okay, there's definitely a chance of saving this par for Henry. The man himself.
Just trying to make the corner and give myself a approach for saving a par on this hole. Not trying to bite off too much with that shot.
Yeah.
Dom with a great upshot, sitting there looking for a birdie 3.
Yep, absolutely. That is a huge success on this one. You see a lot of 6s and 7s out here. Actually, I mean, it's not uncommon to get a 6 on this hole. You have 2 bad kicks, and that turns into a 6, and it's easier than it looks out here. Yeah, just an example of pretty much having nothing here with Garrett on that right side.
That was a good second shot from the woods.
Good run. Is he rolling away? Oh my gosh. Come on. And there is a drop off back there. I mean, not too much, but it's a 20-foot drop off pretty much.
Yep, Henry was lucky to hang up in a couple of branches to stop it from rolling all the way down to the road.
Yeah.
Unfortunate break nonetheless.
I have to send a shout out to one of my closest friends here, Luke Wessel. He runs the Apple Valley Disc Golf Leagues here in Minnesota. It's the biggest leagues in Minnesota, and he got an ace on this hole during I think it was the 2014 AM Worlds, and that's just, I can't even imagine. I wish that somebody would have filmed that.
Incredible shot.
Good birdie from Dom. Alex holding on to that 1-stroke lead. And Henry was not happy with that one. Moving on to hole 6 here, 355 feet. Pretty tight gap all the way. Usually people are throwing like their understable mid ranges, to be quite honest. They don't want anything to go too far left, or they're not going to have an upshot. And you definitely want to be right of that tree that you see on the left there. To the left of that is just woods. So that was a little errant shot.
Alex was going for the hole there. Just pulled his drive a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I followed up with the same.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get a little aggressive after having settled for a par on the previous hole.
Oh.
Garrett almost hitting one of our spotters for the round. Out there watching all the discs, trying to help us keep things moving. I think that was an unconventional approach by Henry, going with the forehand. More of a placement shot. Definitely worked out for him. Got him right in the middle of the fairway with a decent approach.
Sometimes Dom winds up so slowly that it looks like it's a slow-mo shot. Sometimes I see it more often on his putts. He'll wind up really, really slowly. I'm like, is this a slow-mo? It's like, oh no. He just takes his time, which is good.
Alex making that up shot from about 200 feet look way too easy for one knee stretched out.
That should be okay. I mean, he will have to face that wall a little bit with the putt, but should be okay there.
Beneficial roll to the basket there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Garrett was looking to give that a conservative bid and just slid a little bit past the hole.
And even though that was his third shot, I mean, that's the smart play there from Dom, so.
Henry's nice uphill putt to save par.
Yeah. That wall can be scary. I mean, the wall is probably 3.5 feet tall, so I've seen it a lot where people will be down there past that wall and they'll miss high because they want to avoid the wall. Ooh. A little high right on that one. Yeah, short hole, but definitely not an uncommon 3. And I'm definitely not uncommon 4 either.
Oh yeah, you're walking away with 3 on this hole. You're feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Played the hole pretty well. Not too much separation within the group just yet through 6 holes. Everyone's trying to get a good feeling for their game and attack some holes when it's available. Nothing too crazy has happened just yet.
Definitely. What do you think about this one, man? Par 3 is pretty much just a hyzer all the way, right?
It is, yeah. For a righty, it plays pretty straightforward. Nice, slow hyzer. Alex is going aggressive with more of a spike line. Gets hung up in an early tree. This hole, you get through hole 5 and 6 on this course, and you have a birdieable shot here.
Yeah.
You want to definitely try to execute and grip the disc a little bit tighter.
Right. Oh boy.
Fortunate kick there and kept me in the fairway instead of off to the right where the thicket begins.
Yeah, I would say probably 9 times out of 10 people are throwing their overstable fairway drivers on this one. Just to the left of that that dead-looking tree there, and it'll pretty much get all the way to the green. Having some grip lock here on off the tee. See if Henry can make the correction. Yep, looks like he did. That looks really good. Awesome. Just a little short, but that's very well played. Definitely easy to make a mistake on this one. It does look really open once you step up to the tee, but easy to make a mistake because you have to be on enough of a hyzer angle and close enough to the left side of those first trees there.
Dom with a great upshot, giving himself a look for a par save.
A par save production.
Playing that.
Thanks for helping us out, man. I was just laughing. I was just laughing during the rounds because I heard a few people make that joke, talking about how their par save productions are on point and that kind of thing. I was just like, wow, that's hilarious.
It's only just begun.
Just begun. Enter for the deuce. Come on, buddy. I know he wants it after these past few holes. Yeah.
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt. Hopefully that's a confidence booster for him.
A couple of tap-in pars for the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm. And just some cleaning up here. Smooth release. I like watching him putt. It just looks so easy. Alright, the lone deuce. Still a tight game. I mean, still early, but definitely a tight game. With some of the wooded holes that they just played, I mean, you would expect a little bit more of a separation. This, in my mind, now there are a few holes that could be set as a signature hole of this course, but this, in my mind, is a signature hole. It's just really, 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 really far, and it's really, really beautiful. What's kind of the most common play on this one, man?
You want to get past the top of the hill as Henry's attacking with a right-hand hyzer. Anything past that tree you can see on the right side of the screen there is optimal. Give yourself a nice approach for hopefully a birdie 3.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the bigger arms are able to power up and go a little bit more aggressive at the hole, try to cut the corner a little bit and even take on some of the trees by going up and over. Looks like Alex was going for that line, but hit one of the first trees there.
Yeah. With those trees coming into play and that hill right off the bat, it plays like so far. I mean, I think it takes every bit of about 650 feet worth of strength and power and control to actually get to the pin.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember watching this from the tee and just being in utter amazement watching Garrett throw that drive there up and over that big tree.
Where did that land?
Yeah, we had no idea when we were watching. We had a couple claps from the gallery on the roadside, but didn't know if it ended up inbounds or even close to the pin. Worm burner there by Dominik.
Almost
Gets up and over the hill. These approach shots with the green situated on top of some rocks on the side of a hill it's very dangerous and easy to get into trouble if you're a little bit off with your approach.
Yeah, and it's definitely not uncommon to be on the to just take that hyzer approach there, not actually try to turn in to the right towards the pin. The pin is behind that other pine tree there. The reason for that is if you're behind the pine tree, you could be 15 feet away and have absolutely nothing. So staying on the left side here, it's pretty common. And this is Garrett's putt for the eagle. That is incredible.
Best drives we've ever seen.
No.
One of the easiest threes you can see on this hole.
That's just amazing. We did have one eagle on the day, and that was from Alex Russell. Alex probably waiting for wind. Yeah. Smart.
Almost par save for Dom.
Yeah. Nice from Henry there with a strange stance. That's almost what I was talking about, like when you're behind that pine tree of absolutely nothing from 15 feet away, but Henry managed to get that awkward stance to convert. So good on him. Hole 9, 185 feet. This one is looks like a pretty easy hole when you get up to it, and I'm not going to say that it's not, but you've got a few trees to contend with there, and if you hit any of them, you might be looking at a 60-foot putt. So just got to be careful on this one and play smart.
And you're taking the overhand approach.
Yeah,
find his way all through the trees. Got himself a nice putt.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. It's mostly just a backhand putter. Got through all that. Nice.
You're definitely feeling the pressure to have a good tee shot on this hole. Try to get a 2 on it. It's almost a requirement in a lot of players' minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other thing is, like, playing this hole right after the big drive, you know, I mean, your arm's feeling a little bit strange to slow down so much. This one actually came in as the 4th easiest hole of the 24 holes. So a lot of deuces, definitely not too many 4s. I think it probably came in as that easy because nobody really takes a 4 on this one, but the 3 is pretty common. Oh no, Garrett.
Tom with a nice birdie putt there.
Alex to save par. Mm-hmm.
Nice save.
Oh, yeah. Not happy with it.
And you're stringing a couple birdies in a row there.
Yeah. Trying to make up for the unfortunate double bogey a few holes ago. Trying to get that momentum going, and it looks like it is, so good to see. Nice. All right, we are tied. A three-way tie at the top there. Still a pretty close match. Moving on to hole 10, another one that I've never figured out. What's your plan?
I usually try to throw an understable mid-range on a backhand. Try to go straight as I can. Rarely expecting a birdie putt. You get a good drive, you have an opportunity for it, but anything down the middle is always good. Henry attacking again with another forehand. It's all the way up there.
That is amazing. That is truly amazing. That's
not many people can pull that shot off.
No. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Thrilled by that tee shot. Have an opportunity for a 2.
Definitely. With both the backhand and the forehand on this hole, I would say it's more often than not that you're off of the fairway. Because of the downhill, downhill definitely comes into play, and the fairway is very tight. Oh, no. That might have kicked into some rough there.
It's probably the one thing on this hole you're trying to avoid is hitting those first trees on the left. And unfortunately for Garrett, getting a pretty nasty kick left as well.
Yeah, it was a little too close to the right side there. But that's okay.
Yeah, not bad though.
Yeah.
Ended up in a decent spot.
Definitely have a look for a solid putt. Solid attempt.
Garrett just trying to get out of the thick patch of woods there. Give himself a look for good upshot.
Yeah. That's trouble if you hyzer out too early, or if you hit a tree and skip out left.
Oh, Alex giving it a run.
Mm-hmm.
Tough upshot there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of trees to contend with and awkward angle. That one would have been nice to capitalize on. Left my putt a little too high, unfortunately.
Oh, no. Be a cleanup, though.
Yep, not too disappointed with 3 on this hole.
No, definitely not. It's definitely a hard 2. Coming in at the 8th hardest hole. 8th hardest hole of the 24 at a 3.14.
Henry made that 2 look pretty simple on with his shot, though.
Yeah, it's a rare inside the circle, I would say. So much speed. Henry jump into the lead. The young gun. All right, moving on to hole 11. This is 490 feet, and pretty much what you want to do is you want to look at this first pole here, and you want to stay left of it on a hyzer. And if you can do that, hopefully you'll end up around maybe 80 short. Actually running the pin the whole way is very few and far between feet. Yeah, that should play for an upshot for the 3. Inside route.
Yeah, don't want to go early left on this hole if you can avoid it.
Yeah, same. I think that may be the higher percentage way to actually get to the pin. I mean, like I said, getting to the pin is just almost impossible. I don't want to say impossible. It's not impossible, but it's tough. But I think that might be the only way to get there because it's a kind of a steep hyzer angle.
Down with a nice shot Nice and flat. He said get him a little bit short, looking for a easy up shot.
Yeah, that's a great way to play this hole.
Double G's taking that inside route.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Off.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Fighting through the trees.
Yeah.
All the way in, just inside the circle.
Great up shot.
shot.
Yep. Oh.
Put mine a little wide.
Yeah, I got hung up there. It's going to make for a difficult putt.
Tried to get a little aggressive with it. Did not work out.
Are we going a little high here? Yeah,
Oh, no.
too high. Definitely a good bid there from Henry. Behind the basket, it's kind of far behind the basket, but there is a swamp back there, so it can be difficult if you run it too quickly. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Garrett gets to finally play after waiting for all of us. Oh, just short. Good look for a birdie too.
Yep. An interesting fact, this one came in the 4th hardest hole of the day at .29. It's actually a par 4, and it's 3.29. So there are a lot of birdies to be had out here, regardless of the fact that Kaposia is a very difficult course.
Yeah, this is course has a lot of history with Minnesota disc golf, and we're really happy to be able to get the event back here this year for the Majestic. It's been a staple course for the event for many, many years, and getting it back, showcasing all the history and all the different holes that a lot of players in Minnesota know very well, just because of how frequent this course is played. But definitely a good mix of birdies and tougher holes as well throughout the woods. Three bogey 4 is not the best performance on the hole. Couple of nice threes by Garrett and Dom.
Yeah, and apologies on that last one. That was a par 3, not a par 4, so it's over par. This one right here is pretty much just a straight shot. I mean, most people are probably taking mid-ranges to it, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Mid-range, try to, again, just get your tee shot off straight and nestle somewhere near the hole. Anywhere off to the right or left of the fairway can get you into some trouble as well. Garrett hits one of the upright trees.
And you're trying to take it wide and skip in, and that worked really well.
That forehand is something to watch.
Absolutely. Get through it. Oh no. Hit that little guy.
Little guy. Luckily, I hit another tree to keep me out of the thick woods.
Mm-hmm.
Alex throwing a great drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That's the more common thing you see, just throwing something slow, letting it flip up. Oh man, trying to put it in there, aren't you?
It looked a lot closer on video than it did in person. Pretend I was going for it there.
Really nice bid there from Dom. Nothing to worry about running the putt on this one. Awesome.
Great putt. Alex with a nice birdie after the bogey 4 on the previous hole.
Very nice. Good cleanup. And Henry with a very impressive deuce. Yeah, you don't see that forehand line on this hole too often, but Henry's just so confident with him.
I might think about throwing a forehand on a couple of these holes after watching Henry be able to execute the way he has so far.
Mm-hmm. Henry keeping his lead there. Definitely playing really solid. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for the back 12. I want to thank the MFA. I want to thank Airborne Disc Golf and Phil and Michael with the Kaposia Pro Shop. You guys do a great job, and we really appreciate you guys letting us use your beautiful property.
Yeah, thank you, especially to Kaposia Pro Shop and the City of West St. Paul for helping out and preparing the course. Kaposia Park was in a great condition for our event, and we couldn't have done it without the help and support of the city and Kaposia Pro Shop as well.